Hey guys, it's an election season. St. George City elections are the most important thing. We want you to go to votestg.com and find out who's running and what they stand for. See us all over Southern Utah in our voter information booth. We'll be at Digby's Market, Red Rock Bicycles, and the park. We'll see you out there. I was at the parade. Let's go all the way back. I was at the open house. Jeff and I hatched this idea. He was a political science major at University of Utah. He was fascinated with real estate. We both had considered going to law school. Both of us bagged that. Now we're both in real estate with political science as our interest. And I'm like, well, then let's just go to the people with that. We don't have, the spectrum's essentially dead.
Right.
Spectrum's gone. We have St. George News, which was a Facebook page that was meant to just sell ads that had really, I don't think their original plan was like, we're going to be the media source for Southern Utah.
Yeah.
But they de facto become that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we could do this a little better. As a real estate agent, real estate only happens every 7 to 10 years. So the amount of people I need to know to really have real estate just coming through the door on a regular basis, I have to go find new people to talk to.
Sure.
Or I have to have a good conversation where people tune in and they'll think, oh, I'll hire that guy. He seems like he knows what he's doing and he's, capable of doing the job. So that's kind of the idea. We had the election coming up. There's 3 seats, which is a massive, it's a voting majority swing, right? And for the most part, 3 votes can win it. Right. As far as decisions moving forward.
On a 5-member council, that's what it does.
That's what it does. So I was like, well, it's important. It's not a presidential. How can I boost? So our goal of the podcast and the project that we're working on, it's a Rock the Vote St. George. We'll have a website by the time this airs, because I think this episode is going to come out after June. It's probably going to be in July or even August, because we're going to go all the way up to the election. So I might have you back on if you're willing to do it again later on as we get closer to it. But truth be told, I'm on the side of the underdogs. So I'm a guy that wants the challengers to win in politics. Just so you know ahead of time.
And almost in everything, we all feel that way. I'm that way in sports.
People are cheering for their underdog most of the time.
Certainly.
I'm a Yankee fan, so then I get a bunch of beef. Everybody gets mad because they're like, oh, from the guy who says that they're the best, right?
I try not to hold it against you. No.
Exactly. Everybody does. But I'm really interested in your perspective. Kind of the first question I would ask you is, you've been on since 2011 consecutively.
Yep.
Are you running again or are you not running? And this won't be official because it's going to come after, but.
No, after a lot of thought, I am running again, and more so because I've had a lot of people, in all the times I've ran before, it was just kind of automatic. I've had a lot of people come and say, hey, I was good to be done. I've had a lot of people reach out to me and say, hey, we really, really want you to run again. And I said, okay, I'll do it one more time, but don't ask me again. So, we've got a lot of things going on, and it just feels like it's not quite the time to step away.
What would be the number one reason why they're saying they want you to run again? And that there's not another fully capable business owner or, citizen in town that could do all the same stuff that you're doing?
Yep. That's a multi-part question there, because I truly believe there are some others that could do it.
Yeah.
The second part of that is, are they willing?
That's a good point.
And that's a whole nother subject as well, is what is going to motivate someone to do this job with some of the issues that come along with it, right down to it could affect your business. If you're an entrepreneur like me, I've had people come in and say, I'm going to do business with you because of this, or I will not because of this. So there's a lot of decisions that come into play with other people that say, would I run? Plus some of the unsavory parts of the political business where people just don't like you because of a decision you made. There are a lot of people that just say, hey, that's not for me, that might be capable. So so I'm okay to, I guess that's the way to say it the best, is I'm okay to step away.
You'll put your hat in the ring and let the people vote.
And it's not going to be, maybe I'm the dangerous candidate because it's not going to be the end of the world for me, right? This is my community.
In a negotiation, the one that has the least to lose
that's right.
is the one that wins.
That's right with you. So, but there's been some interesting dynamic changes since I've been on the council. And, obviously I came in out of nowhere. I'm a St. George kid, but had no political aspirations, decided to run, lost, ran again 2 years later and barely won. and then within a few years became the the longest serving council person. So yeah, I'm the one that's been there the longest. So I think the original part of that question is why are they coming to ask me? I asked them that why can't we find someone else? It comes down to the experience. Now that's a catch-22. Some would say, hey, we need to make a change. I feel that way a lot of times in politics is we need to make a change. In this case, they feel like we're at a crucial point in the dynamics of the politics in St. George where what they've told me at least is we need your experience and let's get the right people in place. Then you can step away. That's the bottom line what it comes down to. So again,
So you think that depending on who throws their name in the hat or their name in the ring, let's do the right thing. Their name in the ring, that could change your mind? Could you say, well, these 3 people or these 4 people are running and I feel like they could win it, and maybe, could you find enough candidates where you could almost maybe pick your replacement at this point?
Well, I wouldn't say change my mind because I'm not gonna get in to lose, right?
I love that
committed.
answer. That's great.
I'm committed.
That's a great answer.
I'm committed to the people of St. George. But at the same time, I would say if the right people run, I wouldn't be sitting there going, oh, this is super important. I'd say, hey, if this person wins or this person wins, we're solid. We're solid. So let's not stress about it.
Sweet.
And I've seen that happen in the past. Not that not it's the end of the world when certain people win or lose, but I've seen it happen in the past when some really good people, some really good candidates have gotten, because of the number of candidates and the way we vote in a primary, they dilute the vote because there's so many that are maybe like-minded where, there's some really good candidates that just get totally forgotten about because, of the sheer number of people. And I'd hope I'm not that guy that makes that happen to where, a lot of times when we do that, we go to the extremes, and there are extremes on both sides. Even my side, there's some extremes. And so, we got to be really careful with that. And so I hope that doesn't happen. Doesn't usually happen as much in the 3-person race as the 2-person where there's a little more concentration, but where we got 3 seats open, I mean, really, you just got to be in the top 3.
That's it.
So, yeah.
I mean, really, the first round, the primaries are really where it's at. So the whole goal of the podcast, going right back, just to kind of close the door on this, I want to boost voter registration by 25%. So perfect. So if you're a resident in St. George specifically, but Washington County, because Hurricane has 3-member election going on this year too, and that's a huge, important election for Hurricane based on where they're at right now.
Sure,
their explosive amount of growth that they're on the precipice of having, because a lot of people look around and they think, oh man, Hurricane has grown so much. Yeah. Well, we haven't even started yet.
Sure. The land mass they have available there.
The flat, so much, like actual flat. Like you look at St. George and on a geographic map, St. George is not an ideal place to build a city. Yeah. They would not have done this if we were to pick it out of all the geographic areas. It would not have been St. George. So Hurricane, though,
they will be the biggest city someday.
And then the 3rd largest by geographic area. Sure. They have the most privately owned land in Washington County. Joe Boca back in the day told me that only 11% of our whole county is privately owned. I don't know if that stat is exactly true, but when I look at the zoning map and I go backwards, that's probably pretty accurate. Yeah. And that's not true of Utah County and Salt Lake County and stuff like that. Yeah. So
they got some we have things to come out there.
We have a unique dynamic, and Hurricane's got a big election too. But the goal, 25% registration, will help us say, okay, I know we've targeted people that normally wouldn't listen or be hearing the voter conversation. Let's make sure they're registered to vote. If we bump registrations up, primary turnout will be big, and then the general will be big, right? So I think it'll have kind of a residual impact. So we're going to get out the vote this summer, man. Awesome. And I hope you can help.
That's always a good thing. The more people we get involved, the better.
Somebody told me, I won't say who, as long as we get the right people.
That's always the way it is.
Like, right? I don't think you should say that out loud. You're not supposed to say that out loud.
Yes. Sometimes if we only had a king, right, then it would be all done how we wanted it. Yeah.
Yeah. Leviathan. Yeah. So what did you got into the politics. What was the first thing you felt like, oh, I need to learn this?
Yeah.
Like when you got down in the seat back then, because you were younger.
Yep.
Probably so not as experienced, right?
Yeah.
Just for the world.
Oh man, I have learned so much. I honestly didn't know what I was doing. And that's okay, It's okay to not know everything when you get involved in this. And so I'd encourage anybody that wants to go ahead and get involved and that's what I did.
Yeah.
This started way back even before that when growing up here in St. George. This is kind of the catalyst, is there was a decision being made by the city council across the street from where I grew up in a residential area.
500 and 500.
Yep. The Children's Justice Center.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a great program. It's a great addition to our community. But at the time, it was coming into our residential neighborhood, which was a concern, right? What are we doing here? Plus the work they do, which is super important with, children that are being abused. There was some fear in the neighborhood about what element they were bringing into the neighborhood. Not realizing, I think at the time we weren't realizing as a neighborhood that this was for the children and to do interviews with the children. We weren't bringing, we won't bring in these child predators into the neighborhood. That's not the purpose of the Children's Justice Center. But I actually, as a high school, I was in high school at the time, and some of the neighbors asked me to give a speech at the city council, right? And so then you see all these people setting up.
Why did they come to you?
I don't know, just because they,
Jimmy, hey, get Jimmy to do it. He'll do anything.
Yeah, here's a young kid. Maybe they'll listen to him, right? It's different.
Did you do student body president? Were you a student body? Nothing.
Nope.
It's like, hey,
nothing.
Jimmy's silly enough.
He'll do it. And we lived directly across the street.
Yeah, important voice.
Yeah, so that was kind of the dynamics. Well, that same dais that's there now, there was those 5 people sitting up there and the mayor, and I give the speech and everybody else did their thing. And then it was just like, okay, thank you for all your comments. And so we're done. And this is what we're doing. We're voting for it. It felt like there was no listening at that
no
point.
Deliberation.
So that stuck in my mind a long time. Then by way of California, Salt Lake, and then back home, I'm married, have children now, and we're back home. And one day I'm complaining. I don't even honestly remember what this decision was I was complaining about. And my wife says to me right in front of my children, well, if you're going to complain about it, go do something about it.
Yeah.
So I said, all right. And it just happened to be time to sign up for city council. I took my 2 boys, my 2 oldest boys, and I said, come on, I'll show you how this works. And so we went up to the city hall, we paid our $50 and signed up to run for city council.
Yeah.